Your neighbor said something dangerous about you to authorities, and now they're watching. This video brings an urgent message that Jesus specifically wants you to hear. He has been trying to warn you about false words spoken against you, but he's worried you might not realize the spiritual attack happening right now. This isn't just another warning video. It contains a revelation about enemy tactics being used against you. Jesus cares deeply about your reputation and would be concerned if you missed this critical alert about what's been said behind your back. The message you're about to receive has been carefully arranged to reach you at this exact moment before more damage is done. There's a divine appointment happening right now as you watch. Don't scroll away, because what you're about to learn could protect both your freedom and your future. This isn't an ordinary spiritual message. It's a divine alert about false accusations that have reached people in positions of authority. Jesus has been watching what's happening around you with protective attention, noticing both the truth of your actions and the lies being spread about you. Missing this particular warning could mean failing to defend yourself spiritually against attacks designed to destroy your reputation. This warning marks a limited time opportunity that's opening right now to counter what seems like an unstoppable campaign against you. Jesus cares so deeply about your protection that he would be genuinely worried if you failed to recognize this spiritual warfare happening in your life. That's why this message found you today. Your attention to this video isn't random. It's a divinely orchestrated moment designed to help you see the enemy's tactics that have been working against you, but you might not have fully recognized. The accusations aren't true, but they're dangerous. The watching isn't justified, but it's real. Jesus wants you to understand the spiritual dimension of this attack so you can respond with divine wisdom instead of human fear. Every prayer you've whispered asking for protection from those who wish you harm has been heard. Every uncomfortable feeling you've had about your neighbor's behavior has been noticed. All the times you've wondered if people were talking about you behind your back, yet tried to live righteously anyway, have been honored. Your concerns about being watched or targeted haven't gone unnoticed. Those moments when you felt something was wrong but couldn't prove it, Jesus saw your discernment. The times when your peace felt disturbed by your neighbor's strange questions or changed attitude, yet you kept your composure anyway. That self-control was recognized in heaven. The courage it took to keep living your life normally when you sensed spiritual attack has been deeply valued. The questions you've carried about why certain people seem hostile toward you, sometimes too confusing to share with others, have all been acknowledged. Spiritual attacks through false accusations aren't always obvious, and enemy tactics aren't always clear. Sometimes they require spiritual discernment to recognize. Jesus understands this challenge, which is why he's making this particular warning about your neighbor's dangerous words so clear you can't possibly miss it. The warning sign Jesus wants you to recognize appears in everyday moments, but is often overlooked because it seems too subtle to be a real threat. This sign shows up in your neighbor's changed behavior toward you, in sudden coldness where there used to be friendliness, or in avoiding eye contact when you meet. It appears in unusual questions from other people about your activities, your schedule, or your personal life. It emerges in the way certain conversations stop when you enter a room, or how some people suddenly seem interested in details about you they never cared about before. This warning sign is uniquely connected to your specific situation, something Jesus has personally revealed to alert you to danger. It relates directly to the prayers you've been praying for protection and the uneasy feelings you've been having lately. Jesus chose this particular warning sign because it speaks to your spirit in a language only someone under spiritual attack would fully understand. The window to recognize what's really happening won't remain open forever. When you finally see the full picture, you'll understand the spiritual warfare you've been facing without even knowing it. When you recognize this warning from Jesus about the false accusations Many puzzling interactions will suddenly make perfect sense. Strange behaviors from your neighbor, unexplained interest from others in your business, and spiritual unease you've felt will all connect in a beautiful moment of divine clarity. Jesus has important news for you today. Your spiritual discernment about enemy attacks is growing stronger, and divine protection is being activated around you now. Heaven has noticed the integrity of your life despite false words, and now you've been chosen to receive this special warning. This moment marks something significant in your spiritual walk. It's a clear indication that your ability to recognize spiritual warfare is developing powerfully. Something incredibly meaningful is unfolding in your relationship with Jesus, far deeper protective covering than you might have imagined possible. The recognition of this warning begins a spiritual awakening that will touch every area of your life, from your prayers for justice, to your interactions with others, to your sense of divine protection. This awareness will transform how you navigate attacks against your character and freedom. There's a wave of heavenly attention surrounding your situation right now. You're becoming more spiritually attuned to enemy tactics, naturally drawing divine warnings into your daily experience. Recognizing this sign about your neighbor's dangerous words brings a heightened awareness of Jesus' defense in even the smallest details of this attack. More spiritual insights about protecting yourself will begin flowing to you than ever before. This isn't happening by chance. It's a carefully arranged blessing designed specifically for this dangerous season you're walking through. Your prayers for justice and protection matter more than you realize. Your spiritual sensitivity to attacks inspires heaven to reveal enemy plans before they fully succeed. Your faith makes a difference in the protective atmosphere around your life. This divine warning shows that Jesus deeply values your innocence and integrity despite what others are saying. Each time you've chosen righteousness over revenge, truth over retaliation, has developed your ability to receive this critical warning now. Jesus delights when you finally see the spiritual attack he's been trying to reveal to you all along. The timing of this warning is no coincidence. It comes now because you're spiritually ready to recognize and respond to it. This precise moment has been divinely chosen because you've grown in faith and spiritual discernment about warfare tactics. Your spiritual eyes are now open enough to see attacks that might have destroyed you before you could recognize them. Your heart has expanded through trials and false accusations. Your wisdom about spiritual warfare has deepened through difficult experiences with difficult people. Your soul is now prepared to receive this divine warning more clearly than ever before. All the challenges you faced with neighbors, authorities, or enemies have been preparation for recognizing this specific attack. Nothing in your journey has been wasted. Every experience has shaped your ability to recognize spiritual warfare. When it's directed at you, this particular warning about false accusations is connected to larger spiritual attacks happening against believers right now. Jesus is revealing similar enemy tactics to those who are spiritually alert and ready to stand against lies. The battle is real, but so is the divine protection available to you. If you're feeling blessed by this divine warning about the false accusations against you, please consider sending a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or more to support our channel's mission of sharing these important protective messages. Your generosity helps these divine warnings reach those who desperately need to recognize spiritual attacks. When you give, you participate in a sacred exchange that allows us to continue creating content that exposes enemy tactics in these spiritually dangerous times. Your support means more people will be protected from false accusations through divine revelation. As you begin to recognize this warning from Jesus about your neighbor's dangerous words, new spiritual authority will naturally develop in your life. This clearer vision brings new responsibilities, not just to defend yourself, but to help others who might be facing similar false accusations. Don't view these responsibilities as burdens, but as sacred opportunities to participate in Jesus' work of exposing enemy lies. This revelation signals it's time to step into spiritual maturity as someone who fights back with prayer, not panic. Finding balance becomes essential during this spiritually charged time. While responding to this specific attack, remember to nurture your practical faith through prayer, scripture reading, and godly counsel. These spiritual disciplines have shaped who you are and will continue to support you as you grow into this expanded role. Jesus is inviting you to become more than just a victim of false words, but a warrior who stands against spiritual attacks with divine authority. This begins with recognizing the attack for what it is and responding with spiritual weapons instead of human fear or anger. As you become sensitive to this divine warning about false accusations, think about how you can help others who are missing similar attacks against them. Your experience shows that Jesus is constantly revealing enemy tactics, even when we fail to notice them working against us. Heaven witnesses every moment when someone recognizes spiritual warfare before it destroys them. Your story of receiving this warning brings hope to people feeling targeted or wondering if their concerns about neighbors or authorities are justified. Your awareness becomes a light that helps others develop eyes to see the spiritual attacks Jesus is revealing all around them. This warning about your neighbor's dangerous words isn't meant to be a private blessing. It's an invitation to help others experience the same divine protection. Jesus often works through those who have recently recognized spiritual attacks to help awaken others who are still being damaged by lies. Your newfound awareness serves as both personal protection and ministry opportunity. When you share how Jesus revealed the false accusations, others learn to recognize similar patterns before their reputations are destroyed. As you navigate this new level of spiritual awareness about the false accusations, stay consistently prayerful. Jesus reminds you that while recognizing one attack is important, it's just the beginning of a lifetime of spiritual warfare that requires constant watchfulness. Maintain the spiritual sensitivity that allowed you to see this warning about your neighbor's dangerous words in the first place. Guard against returning to spiritual carelessness that made you vulnerable to attacks in the past. Let your protective awareness continue to flow from genuine faith and daily connection to Jesus' guidance. With this new ability to recognize spiritual attacks comes ongoing responsibility to remain alert but not fearful. Use this gift wisely to discern true spiritual warfare from ordinary neighborhood conflicts or misunderstandings. Not every difficulty is a demonic attack, but Jesus will make truly dangerous situations unmistakable. Embrace this journey of spiritual protection with both humility and confidence, showing others that recognizing enemy tactics comes from staying connected to Jesus daily. Through prayer and scripture, the truth about what your neighbor said will continue to be revealed as you stay spiritually alert and prayerful. Picture a future where you consistently recognize spiritual attacks before they harm your reputation or freedom. Imagine divine protection surrounding every word spoken about you, spiritual alerts arriving precisely when enemies plot against you, and your understanding of heavenly defense expanding beyond anything you've experienced before. Jesus stands with you, encouraging you to embrace this journey of spiritual warfare with complete trust in His protection. This is truly your moment to experience deeper divine covering through recognizing attacks against your character and safety. This marks the beginning of a time when your spiritual discernment, wisdom, and faith will be more aligned with heaven than ever before. Accept this blessing with gratitude, and remember that you're surrounded by divine support on this journey of standing against false accusations. The path ahead holds countless opportunities to experience Jesus' defensive power through warnings that will become increasingly clear to your spiritually attuned heart. What peace awaits as you learn to trust that Jesus fights for you when enemies speak lies to authorities or anyone else. If this protective message has awakened something in your spirit about the spiritual attack you're facing, please consider blessing our channel with a super thanks of $5. $10 to $20 or whatever amount feels right to you. Your support creates a beautiful spiritual exchange and allows us to continue sharing these divine warnings with believers who need them most. Your generosity helps fund our mission to expose enemy tactics in these spiritually dangerous times. If you're ready to acknowledge that you recognize the spiritual attack against you, type 999 in the comments below as your declaration of spiritual awareness and divine protection. The journey of recognizing spiritual attacks against your reputation continues beyond this revelation. As you step into new awareness about your neighbor's dangerous words and the watching that's happening, stay grounded in prayer and scripture that keeps your discernment sharp and your heart protected. Every attack you recognize and counter with prayer could be the exact testimony someone else has been waiting to hear about their own situation. Your growing spiritual sensitivity serves as inspiration for others, wondering if their concerns about false accusations are real or just paranoia. Move forward with an alert heart, a prayerful mind, and a protected spirit, ready to trust Jesus' defense. Create opportunities for others to recognize spiritual warfare as you enjoy the divine covering coming to your life. The spiritual language of divine protection has always been part of how Jesus cares for those who love him and live righteously. By choosing to pay attention to these warning signs about false accusations, you join a long tradition of faithful believers who have learned to recognize enemy attacks and stand firm with Jesus as their defender against every lying tongue.